We're in the middle of a lockdown due to coronavirus, and we're finding ourselves spending a lot of time with people we live with, getting back into exercise, or catching up on all those shows on Netflix that you never have the time to watch, or possibly growing dodgy facial hair. So what better time to upgrade the TV? My current TV is a Samsung UE6670. It's about 7 years old, it's full HD, it's 55 inch. It's been a really great TV, but now is the time to finally upgrade to a 4K TV. So the first thing to do, disconnect the old TV, clear the space for the new one. Now what am I replacing it with? What we went for is a Samsung QLED Q95T. So one of the key considerations, definitely wanted to go up a screen size, but definitely wanted 4K. And if we were going to change the TV, then we definitely wanted to go for something towards the high end of the range. The Q95T is a 2020 TV, so it's part of Samsung's new range, and it sits at the very top of their 4K TVs. The TVs that sit above it in the range are the three 8K models. This video will be very much about the unboxing and setup process, talk a little bit about some of the headline features for this model, but I plan on doing a further video once I've had a chance to actually use the TV for a few days. You will notice that the box is already slightly open. Got a bit excited, this got delivered in the middle of the day and I was working, but I had to have a quick sneak peek. So I pulled a couple of bits out, but let's see what's in the box. So first of all here, got instruction manual. This is the near invisible One Connect cable. We'll talk a bit more about that later. Got batteries, standard remote, premium remote. This is the point of sale that comes with TV, it's going to be displayed in store. This is the One Connect box. So this is something that only really Samsung do. So this is where you have a separate box where you connect all of your sources rather than connecting them to the TV. So in the situation here where we're going to be putting on the TV stand for now, this probably isn't as important. It's still certainly tidy, but when you're in a wall mounting situation, this would allow you to put the TV on and you'd have just one single cable running from the TV to this One Connect box, and then everything else plugs into here. So it really gives you quite a nice aesthetic. So not much has changed over the years. The basic assembly is the same. There's always this bit and then whatever the base is. So these tabs go in here. Make sure they're lined up. Don't force it down. These don't need to be super tight, and they screwing into what is quite a thin outer casing, and then some reinforcement on the inside, so it doesn't need to be like, don't raunch it too much. I think my preference in general is to wall mount TVs. I find that the bigger these TVs are, kind of the wobbly they are on these tiny little stands, but for our situation at the moment it's just going to go on the stand. I've just wallpapered that wall and we're selling this house, so I don't want to be putting holes through it to put a bracket up. New house, definitely will be wall mounting this. Okay, so that's the top section of the stand put on. Now got to put on this. It's like an L-shaped foot, and this definitely got some weight to it. These tabs sit in there, and then you can see from this angle, you've got 4 screw holes, one here, one here, one here, and one here. Same screws as last time, so this should be relatively easy. Now I'm going to have to get my assistant back to give me a lift onto the stand. Problem with TVs, they're not exactly super heavy, but they're just big. So once the TV's actually connected up to all of the peripherals and we've got the cables situated and that kind of stuff, it will go back a bit, and of course the Sonos play bar that we have will need to go in front of it. Okay, it's now time to get the One Connect box situated. So just go back over what I said earlier. The One Connect box, something exclusive or pioneered by Samsung. I guess the other TV manufacturers don't really see any merit in this because this has been out for a few years now and still they're the only one that do it. But essentially it's like having the gubbins from the back of the TV, or some of the gubbins from the back of the TV, in a separate box, and it allows you to connect everything to this box, and then just a single cable, which is like a optical style cable. This one here, almost see-through, so you can see how good that would look if the TV was wall mounted. This will connect from the box to the TV, everything else connects to here. So here's the port for the actual One Connect box. We've got 4 HDMIs. You can see here we have a dedicated game one. We won't go into too much of the tech probably in this video, but the QLED range does have a game optimization mode, and essentially that means that you get less lag. So we've got 4 ports here, dedicated gaming one, an eARC, a LAN port for connected to your network, optical for your soundbar, then you've got these common interfaces which you find on TVs, air cable, and satellite connections as well for FreeSat. And of course a power cable. Now if I remember correctly, I think this cable is a 2-meter cable. This is the one that comes bundled in the box. But if your setup needs you to have the One Connect box situated away from the TV, then you can buy these separately in longer lengths. I can't remember the exact lengths. I think the longest one's about 15 meters off the top of my head. I'm sure if I got that wrong, I'll check it when I'm editing this video and put a correction up on the screen. The first thing we need to do is to put this into the TV. So I've got to get to the back of the TV. You will be able to see the slot there. This will just stick, will just slide into there, hopefully without too much fuss.
5 minutes later.
Just going to slide the TV slightly just to make this a little bit easier. Oh god. Don't knock it off, Jay. Please don't knock it off. Okay, made a bit of a meal out of that. You just need to give it a little bit of force. So there is a little tab here which looks like it screws into the back of the TV to just hold the cable in place, but you'll see there's also a channel here that the One Connect cable pushes into. So it goes down here, down there, and then, okay, that's kind of neat. Just means it comes out in a kind of uniformed way, and then you can see it goes into that corner there and then through the stand. I'm just going to thread that through the back of the unit. Okay, that's sitting in the back of the unit, and then we'll pull the Connect box out. A very similar deal here, it's just slightly different shape or size. So that's our first connection. Now what I need to do is locate the power cable, but we also need to sort out the mess at the back of my TV and find my HDMIs that I need to plug in. Hi. What I need to do now is, one, I need to work out where I'm going to plug this in. Now we should have been filming with the other camera, just literally need the crap out of the TV stand. That would have been good for comedic value. So now what we need to do is get our 2 source cables into the One Connect box. Stick them in HDMI 1, HDMI 2 with the Blu-ray player, though I never really use. I don't know why I'm even bothering, but hey. Of course I will take the plastic off this when I'm happy with everything fitted in there. Okay, next thing is the optical cable for the sound bar. Boom. Remember these are just one shape, so if it doesn't go in, it means you've got it the wrong way around. Don't force it, you will break it and then you'll cry. God, there's a mess in here. Right, so the old TV I did just have connected to the Wi-Fi wirelessly, hence Wi-Fi, because my Virgin router is just here. However, we are now going to be streaming 4K. My internet speeds here, to be fair, are really, really good. But if I can plug it in, I might as well plug it in. The Virgin router is not the best for wireless signal, I have to admit, even if it is sat next to it. So we'll just do that. Oh, more mess and wiring. I will sort this out. Hello, it's Jay from the future. So in the beginning of the video, we've actually set up the TV and put it on the stand, connected everything together. The footage that I shot that actually goes through the setup on the TV itself didn't come out very well. So I took the decision to scrap all of that and reshoot it. I've had the TV now for a couple of weeks, but what I've done is I've actually reset it so we can go back through that process and I can show it in the video. So let's have a quick look at the remote controls to start with. There's two remotes in the box. The first one you get is this standard remote. This design has been on Samsung TVs for years now, literally years and years and years. Hasn't really changed much. The only thing that's kind of changed is you now get these dedicated streaming buttons. So you can see you've got Netflix, Prime Video and Rakuten. But the rest of it's pretty much the same year on year. But probably the one that we're most interested in is this one. So this is what they consider the premium remote. This is actually metal. It's a metal body. Really, really nice feel. And again, we've got some dedicated buttons on here. Same ones as the ones on the other remote. You've got these nice buttons for volume control and then also up and down your channels. And literally you can do everything you need to just on this single remote. At the top here, you'll see that you've got a microphone button. And this is what you use to activate the voice control for this TV. As I mentioned, this TV runs on Tizen OS, which is Samsung's own operating system. You also find that on some of their wearable stuff. But you do have the integration of the two most popular voice or digital assistants, let's call them. So Google Assistant and Amazon Alexa. The Google Assistant is not available yet. We've just gone into June and apparently the update for that will be available very soon. But what is quite cool, I've noticed because I've been using TV a couple of weeks, is this remote does actually listen in a bit like a smart speaker. So you can actually use the command of Hey Bixby and it will pick that up on the remote wherever that remote is sitting, and so you can use it to command the TV on and stuff like that. But anyway, let's go through the setup. I've already been through this once. The steps should be pretty much the same. As I said, I've factory reset the TV, so it should go through the process pretty much the same. But what you do use is the Samsung SmartThings app to set the TV up, and I've had to reset that app, or I've removed the device. So I'm hoping the steps are going to be pretty much the same, but what I'll do is we'll go through, and if I can remember there's a particular step that's slightly different, I'll try and highlight at that point. Unfortunately, filming a TV is not the easiest thing in the world, and you are going to get some glare, so you can see me here waving, but what I'm going to do is give you guys the whole experience and be able to see what's going on the screen and also within the app as we go through the setup process. So what we're going to do is we will launch the SmartThings app. This is going to be slightly different, and the reason being is because I've set this TV up already, the app has already recognized it currently. So we're just going to go in here, so we're just going to click on next there. And you'll see it says get started with your TV, and we'll click start. So first of all, it's asking me to select the location. So the location is my home and which room the TV is going to be in. So we'll just click next on that one. This will now connect the phone to the TV to complete or to go through the setup process. Well, that went well quick. Right, so that's connected, and then you can now see that actually on the TV, it's displaying a PIN number, and we need to enter this PIN number into the app. Now, because I already have a Samsung account, because of my phone and some other devices, this kind of all does it automatically. If you didn't have a Samsung account, you'd be prompted to create one now. So this is just all your T's and C's stuff. And click OK. Okay, and it's just registering the TV to my account. So you see at no point during this so far have I had to actually do anything on the TV. The TV is actually just saying, get that all in, is that we're setting up the TV via SmartThings, just to follow instructions on your mobile device. The app is now asking me to give the TV a name, so it automatically populates this with the model number. Now you'll see that it's actually displaying Samsung Q90 series. Now I'm going to change this to Q95T. This Samsung is a Q95T, so the reason why it's auto-populating with Q90 is because the Q90 and the Q95T are in fact the same TV. The actual display, the actual unit is exactly the same. The only difference is that you get the One Connect box with the Q95T. As part of my day job, I actually work with Samsung, so I was able to speak to them to understand what the differences are, or why there's two models of effectively the same TV. And the reason is one's for the UK and one for the US, because in the US they actually, the whole One Connect box thing they don't really get, or is not very popular, so that's why they produce two separate models. So with the correct name filled in, I'm just going to click the arrow there, click next. Oh, right, so it's doing. So it says choose your voice assistant. As I said, Bixby is baked into the OS because it's Samsung's voice assistant. Alexa is available. For now, I'm just going to set it up with Bixby. Ugh. I mean, I know Bixby doesn't have a great rep as far as Samsung phones are concerned, but actually in the TV it works pretty well. When the update comes and Google Assistant is available, I will be then changing to that because I have other Google products in my home and I'd like it to integrate with those. So we'll click next. It's now telling me that once the TV is set up, this will back up all of my data, serial number and all the TV's information to my Samsung Cloud, which is fine. Okay, now it's into the setup for the Samsung One remote. So that is the premium remote. This one here. That will, once that's set up, that will allow me to control all of the devices. So that's the things that are plugged into the TV with that single remote, including my Virgin box and anything else. As we saw earlier in the setup, I only have the Virgin box set up at the moment. I'll set up the Blu-ray player later, and at some point I'll probably get the games console down here just to at least try it. So what I'm going to do is just go through this next process. So what it's asking is for me to turn on all connected devices. So I just need to turn on my Virgin box. That is of course so it can actually recognise the signal coming into it. And we can get that working with that one remote. Okay, so we've now got a green little symbol, if you can see that, by that HDMI. That's the only input that we've got at the moment. So we'll click next. So the app is now asking me to prepare your device. So what it wants you to do essentially is make sure there's nothing obstructing the device that you're going to be controlling with the one remote, and that's because it uses an IR blaster system to control the other devices. The one remote for the TV works via Bluetooth, but other devices don't all support Bluetooth remote control, so it needs to use the IR instead. So we'll just click OK. Next step is all about the adaptive systems on the TV. So this is a thing that's probably coming to TVs. It's been in TVs for a while, but it's becoming a bit more prominent with customers, consumers. And this is intelligent modes, and that's what Samsung used to call it. So within that, they include adaptive picture and adaptive sound. So what this does is using the sensors on the TV, mostly the light sensor, but also the content is being played, it will automatically adjust the picture to give you what it believes is the best image quality. I will set this up for now, but I will admit that after I'd had it set up for a while, I then adjusted some settings myself, just to my personal taste. But it is a good compromise for a customer who just wants to know, that they're getting the best possible picture all the time. And it can be quite noticeable in that if your lighting conditions drastically change in your living room, the TV, you can see it alter the picture almost on the fly, which is pretty clever. I suppose the annoying thing is that I adjusted the picture myself and got it to a place where I was happy with it, and now I'm going to have to do it all again. But for now, just for the benefit of the video, I will just turn this on. So we click next. Okay, so where will I watch this TV? United Kingdom. I have to enter a PIN. No one come around and use my TV, and now everyone knows the PIN to my TV. I think that'd be okay. Right, now I have to enter my postcode. Okay. Now, of course, the TV itself comes with loads of apps installed. What it does is it gives you a few options here of ones that you might want to select in addition, and then there's even more that sit within the App Store, but the main ones that people use come kind of pre-installed. So I don't want any of those. Spotify, I would like to be able to do that. I've got Sonos Play Bar hooked up, and it's kind of nice and convenient to be able to control Spotify through the TV if the TV's on, rather than having to go to your mobile device all the time. Now it's giving me a grayed out option there is because I've done this setup before, and this is always checking back and forth with your Samsung account. It will already pick up that I've connected this previously, but having gone through the steps, all it will ask you to do is enter your Spotify details, and it will just link that Spotify account to your Samsung account. Okay, that's all done. The TV's all set up. Click done, and you might have just heard that background music from the TV has stopped. What you will want to do if you have a soundbar is go into the menu afterwards and switch the audio over to the soundbar. Now I can't remember if it's happened in the initial setup, it hasn't happened in the second setup. So you press home, go across to, keep going across to settings, and in here is where your quick settings sit, which is quite easy and convenient. Just turn this volume down. Yeah, so in here you've got the intelligent mode, which I've already just knocked off. I'll keep it standard for now. Like I said, as I like to tune the TV myself, and I'll probably make some more adjustments, but I've just turned the intelligent mode off. So over here, you just quickly, if you just highlight that and then click the center button, you can switch between TV speaker and sound output. The TV then automatically just sets that device up. What we have got to do is look at our inputs. From memory, when I did the first setup, it did the Virgin box setup automatically, but if that doesn't happen for any reason, or you do what I've done and had to reset it, then you just go in here, so you'll see it showing as unknown. You can click up, and then universal remote. The first time you go in there, it will actually do that automatically. Click new device, cable satellite box. It then asks you about how you've got it set up, and we've got this set up correctly to the TV, or connected straight to the TV via the One Connect box, so TV directly. It'll ask your postcode, then you need to select your device, and it's on HDMI 1, it's got the signal there. Okay again. Now it'll ask you to do a command essentially to check that it's working properly, so I'm just going to click down channel. Did the channel change? Yes, it did. Okay, so we know that's all working, and that's done. So that's it, the TV set up. Just thought I'd give you a quick little run through of how the kind of operating system works on these Samsung TVs. It's Tizen OS. Pressing the home button brings you up this ribbon here, and within that you have the most popular apps that are they're pre-installed but they're not fully installed. I can't show you within the apps at the moment, because what happens is that when the TV's set up, it will then go and get the latest updates, and there was recently a decent sized update to the Smart Hub, and that's doing that. The TV's doing that in the background at the moment, so it won't allow me to open up the apps fully. But essentially you've got these across here. These can be all fully customizable. I'll probably do that in a separate video. But then it has essentially highlights from all the various services further down. So you just go down from the top ribbon, and you can see that we've got things that are on now. It's got an Apple TV ribbon, Chili, and recently added. As I said, the hub's updating at the moment, so once you've got everything installed, everything set up, everything kind of sits in here. And what's kind of cool is if you go back up here, when this is all working, these tiles will give kind of a preview of everything. So when you click onto, or when you scroll across to say Netflix, another ribbon would then pop up above that ribbon, and it would show you kind of like the latest content that's been added, or if you've been watching something recently but not finished it, that would be there, and it just gives you quick access to be able to get straight back to the programs that you watch. So that was the setup of the Samsung Q95T, my new TV. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it gave you a decent overview of what it's like to set up one of these TVs. Again, apologies, the first lot of footage didn't come out, so the process wasn't exactly the same as it would have been if it was fresh out of the box, but it gives you a general idea of what it's like. As I said before, this is Samsung's flagship 4K TV, and for me it's a massive upgrade over what I had previously. I think the picture quality is fantastic. A lot of people have their own opinions on the whole OLED and QLED thing, and I'm fortunate enough in my job to be able to get to see both of these products. Yes, OLED is fantastic, and I'm not going to sit here and say that QLED's better. I think they both have their own individual merits, but I went for this TV based on my own individual requirements, and I'm really pleased with it, having had it for a couple of weeks now. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you feel that way inclined, please do subscribe to the channel for more videos coming up on this TV and other stuff. If you've got any suggestions or there's any things you'd love for me to go through, then please let me know and I will do my best to accommodate. Thanks for watching and I'll see you again soon.